everybody, it's Georgia Rose. I'm in the soul space, and welcome everybody. Tonight I have a really special guest, Laura Kobes from Clear Insight Coaching, and we're going to talk to Laura all about healing with horses. But first I want to tell you why I asked Laura on the show. So you all know I do events every once in a while, and last summer I was actually doing an event on the Great South Bay, and it was a healing event. And Laura had called me and she wanted to come, and I had heard about what she does. And I actually have an older sister, Chris, in Connecticut that does a little bit of what Laura does with horses, and it interested me so much. We started talking that night, and I wanted to have Laura on the show the minute I met her. I think we're in such a great energetic time right now where connection is so important for us, especially after 2 years of being in our houses and isolated. We all want to connect. And I have to say, when you hear how Laura works with and partners with horses, you are going to really want to connect with them. So this is a really appropriate subject for tonight. So I'm going to get right to it, and I'm going to introduce Laura and going to see who's on the show tonight also and who's in our comments and stuff. If you want to call into the show, you can do that as well. I've got Ann on and Monica on. So pile in, and if you want to call, Bobby will put the number on the screen later on. So Laura, welcome to Soul Space.
Thank you, Georgia.
We're so grateful to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
That's great. So Laura is a certified life coach, and she also is an equine specialist. She's the founder of Clear Insight Coaching, where she helps people transform their lives through partnering with a horse. Laura facilitates private equine-assisted learning sessions as well as group meditations, which I can't wait to do with the horses this spring. Laura looks forward to sharing the benefits of her program as well as why horses are so instrumental in helping humans to heal on so many levels. So we're going to show some pictures a little bit later in this program of exactly what Laura does, and they're just going to touch your heart because when you see how she works with these beautiful animals and really connects with them, it's unbelievable. So Laura, what I am dying to find out and what I don't know is how you ever got into this, like what drew you to this kind of thing?
Well, I'll tell you. So I've been riding horses all my life.
Oh, you have?
All my life, since I was 10. And I've just had this passion for them, like unbridled passion, no pun intended. And then I also became a life coach in the year 2000. Oh. And I was trying to figure out a way to put my two biggest passions together, helping people and working with horses. So eventually I found the program, and I developed the program. I took a couple of different equine programs, one in Arizona and one in local on Long Island.
So you were really dedicated to finding a way to do this.
Yeah, exactly. I knew I could do it, but I just was trying to figure it out, and I finally did. And I just did a bunch of practice sessions, and I put the ideas, my own ideas, plus the ideas of the two programs together, and I just started.
Now, your work as a life coach, because you're very spiritual, obviously, we have you in the soul space. So your work as a life coach, did you always have a more spiritual aspect to it? Because
yes.
You can feel the energy when you see some of these pictures with you and the horses.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I have always had a spiritual aspect to it. I used to do career coaching, and instead of the conventional career testing that most people, would administer if you went to a career coach, I had people fill out like a chart. For example, I would say, list for me your strengths, your skills, your interests, and your values in order to find out what kind of work you love, rather than just, okay, you scored high on this, you should be a hairdresser or a teacher.
So it's really a whole approach to what the soul really wants to do. Like what you really,
Right, and I've done, meditation events, even with life coaching. I started out doing that, and even taking people through a short meditation at the beginning of a session. So
you were really incorporating things from the beginning with the spiritual aspect of things.
Yes.
Now, do you think that you are more spiritual than, say, the average person because of your work lifelong with horses? Like to have the horses like really kind of lifted your spirit, maybe?
You know what? I've always had a spiritual approach to life, and been grown more spiritual as the years went on. But through working with the horses, First, I started out riding for many years and showing, and
Which is very competitive.
extremely. And I really loved it. I would get butterflies in my stomach every time I would go into a show ring.
But you were passionate about it.
I was, and then but it was about the art of mastering riding. So getting the horse to do what you wanted him to do, and but then I found something called natural horsemanship, where you work with the horse on the ground, connecting with the horse's energy, and that's when I became aware of how amazing these horses.
So that opened the door for you.
Yeah.
Now, where does that come from, the natural horsemanship? It's a program, or
It's a program, and there's different practitioners that do it. There's John Lyons, there's Clinton Anderson, there's Buck Brannaman. There's many different.
'Cause I feel like that
Pirelli.
opened you. Like I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer that animals find us, like even our pets. But I feel like you had this affinity for horses, and the horses kind of found you as well.
I think you're right. It's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the
Yeah,
egg? And
right.
I'm not really sure, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if I may, like why I decided to use horses in this program. What makes horses so
Yeah,
unique?
please tell us about that.
In the program. Well, horses are herd animals, right? So they're out in the wild, they're in the herd, and they're always in the present moment. But because they're herd animals, they are fine-tuned. They have this heightened awareness, this sensory awareness of what's around them. They are prey animals, not predators. So they have eyes on the sides of their head,
Right.
which allows them to feel their environment. So they're more of
the perfect observer.
Yeah,
But boy, we could learn a lot about that,
you
right?
can. and they're like acoustical beings, so they pick up the vibration of others. So, for example, if a mountain lion is hiding behind a rock, and where the horse, like maybe up on a hill, right by where the herd of horses is,
Yeah.
his intent is to get one of the horses. Okay, so the
Right.
horse is going to sense that, and they're going to look up, they're going to react, and then they're going to alert the other herd members, and then take off running or do whatever they do. It's like fight, flight, or freeze, right?
Yeah.
And so later on that day, let's say that mountain lion had just had a meal and they're not hungry, and they're going to walk through the edge of the field, the same field that the horses
Right.
were in before. But they're not looking to attack. The horses may not even notice them because
They
their
feel the
intent is
vibration.
not to attack.
Wow.
The intent is different. The intent changed. So their vibration changed and their energy changed.
They can feel the frequency of the different
Yeah.
vibration. Wow. That's amazing. You were telling me, we were talking on the phone last night, which I really enjoyed our conversation.
too.
We were talking about horses, and you were telling me how you can't lie to a horse.
Exactly. The horses read our energy. Like, for example, if you go into a ring with the horse, I'll take someone in for a session, right, a private session, and I'll ask them to go and meet and greet the horse. And if let's say they're like, oh yeah, I'm fine, I'm feeling really good, I'm happy, but yet inside they're really angry at somebody, and they're holding that anger in them.
The
and
horse
that's
knows?
like festering. The horse will sense it.
Wow.
And the horse may not want to interact with them, and
I
they
wonder
may
if-
even want to go walk
Yeah.
into the other side of the ring.
I wonder if that's where the expression our horse sense comes from, right?
I think so. Absolutely.
Now, I know through time, horses were used for, obviously for work animals and other things, but I feel like horses are actually sacred.
They are.
They have,
They're
like, this sacred-
like power animals or totem
Yeah.
animals, right?
And the reason I say that is I really don't have that much experience with horses, but I remember, and even though it was in a very captive kind of a way, I remember being, and this is going to sound silly, but I remember being at in Florida, where they have, what is it, Shamu, the whale? Where is that place? Where they had the
I'm trying to remember.
Clydesdales,
Yes.
and they actually have their stables there. And I remember I was, maybe in my 20s, and I remember going there and seeing the Clydesdale in the gorgeous stables. But they were such magnificent animals that I remember actually just walking through the stable, and it was almost like you could feel the energy change once you went in there. and there were these gorgeous Clydesdales, and it was just so beautiful. In SeaWorld.
Oh, yeah,
they had,
yeah.
and
Clydesdales are gorgeous. And in fact, one of the horses I work with is a Clydesdale.
Oh,
She's
really?
a full Clydesdale.
wow,
And she's just
that must
got
be a
the-
treat for you.
Oh, yeah. She's got the most beautiful energy, and she's just all love. Her name is Iris.
Aw.
And she's just pure love, and she loves people and interacting with
Well,
people.
one of the reasons I first bonded with you even before I met you was because I know one of the horses you work with is named Sparky, and everybody out there knows Sparky.
Yeah.
My dog passed away last month, but Sparky was like my life, and so it was so funny because my sister and I were looking at your website, and my sister said to me, "Do you know one of her horses is Sparky?" And I said, "Yes, I know." So we were like, "We have to meet this chick." So.
And Sparky is the most amazing horse. He's some horses, just like people, some horses are real natural healers, and they really like to do this work. So
You
there's
find that, like different personalities with the horses?
yes,
Wow.
yes. Like most horses take to this work really easily. But like, for example, the only type of horse that would not maybe is a horse that's been traumatized, who has been abused in the past.
yeah.
And so they kind of disassociate and they can't really connect, or they have no desire. I've seen that once or twice, but and horses there's some horses that are just extra special healers, like Iris is one, Sparky's
like
another.
people.
Like one at every barn, or two at every barn. I've got
Really?
actually multiple ones at every barn. And Sparky it's like, I feel like he just gives messages all the time to
Wow.
people and talks to people and talks
Yeah.
to me, and I just
So
know what
I'll
he's
tell
thinking.
you a quick story. This is just about animals, but I'll tell you a quick story, and then we're going to get on to I know we have video from you and everything. I have been worried about Sparky, my dog, because, he passed away, and I kept having these dreams that he was searching for home. It was horrible. I'd wake up in the night, and I'd be like, Sparky's searching for home. So I'm sure he isn't. But my friend Liz moved to Florida recently, and she is kind of an animal communicator. And so she called me yesterday, and she said, I was driving to dinner with my husband, and a license plate on the car in front of us said Sparky 1. And she said, I was trying to get a picture of it, and I couldn't get it in traffic, but I just felt like it was a sign. She goes, but then we got to the restaurant, and we were eating dinner, and a dog came in with an owner, and I was like, because it was an outdoor restaurant, and she thought, oh, wow, they let pets in here. And then she saw the dog more clearly, and he was the same exact dog as my Sparky, a Wheaton.
No way.
And she was like, wow, this is a bit much. And then the dog actually came over to her and looked right at her. And for some reason, because she's a communicator, she heard the name George. So she's like, I don't know what George means unless it's for Georgia. She goes, but Sparky's definitely telling you he's okay. So I was like so heartwarmed.
Wow.
And then I said to her, well, I hate to tell you this, but the name George, I used to tease Sparky all the time and tell him if he could talk, he'd sound like George Burns.
That's incredible.
So, and the reason why I bring the story up while we're talking about your Sparky is because I really do believe that our animals are soulful and they have souls and they live on. So for anybody out there who's recently lost a pet, but all the more reason
Definitely.
to, do what you do and the meditations and the coaching with them, because I think it really gives another level to our consciousness.
Yeah.
And raises that and opens us, because with animals we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. So the truth really comes out. So I know our local News 12 had come to the stables and spoken to you.
Yes.
Can we run that video? Is that
Sure,
good?
sure, let's do it.
So Bob, let's run the News 12 video so everybody out in the soul space kind of can see what Laura does a little bit.
With horses, one Long Island horse farm has been hosting so-called self-empowerment sessions. News 12's Mary Musey takes a look in this week's Long Island Naturally.
People from all walks of life come to these events. People who are into personal growth and meditation. They want to try something unique. Welcome to our Horse Wisdom Meditation.
Laura Kobus, a certified life coach, leads monthly meditations and leadership exercises at the DDR Horse Farm in Melville. She says here, the horses are the real coaches.
I've seen horses help release people's fear, grief, whatever it is that they're holding on to. And horses are very grounding animals. Just sitting and listening to the sound of their footbeat, or feeling the breath of a horse on the back of your neck as he's walking around the circle is just amazing.
Well, many of the people in today's circle have meditated before. Those we spoke to say the presence of the horses helps them meditate more deeply.
Actually, meditation is self-empowerment. So I help people with overcome personal challenges. Like it could be anything from setting boundaries to being more assertive in life, having better leadership skills, having a better relationship.
If you're not used to being around horses, the idea of closing your eyes and meditating with them could make you nervous.
What brought me here was the idea of getting over the fear of something so humongous as these horses.
Still, for the majority here, especially the first-timers, the horses are the main attraction.
I think if anyone's interested in meditation and has never tried it, and they happen to be an animal lover, I think this is the place to be.
At the DDR farm in Melville, I'm Mary Musey, News 12, Long Island.
What a great video. That must have been exciting having them come out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it really was. It was so many facets to it, and you know, I didn't know how it was all going to tie together, but they made it work, and the editor did a really good job.
So now tell us a little bit about your different meditation and coaching sessions. I know we have some pictures, and some of these pictures are so really they talk to my heart.
Okay, so the first one's this picture is a meditation event. So I do group meditation events from May through October. So the
Okay.
good weather.
So we're starting up those up now. So
It's starting up soon. Yep.
so
And-
where can everyone find you? I know you have a Facebook site, Clear Insight Coaching.
Yes, I have one on my regular page where I post everything is under my name, and also I post under my business page. So it's Clear Insight Coaching, Life Coaching with Horses, and yeah, that's the main page I post on. And
Now what is it? Wait, go back.
oh
Bob.
wait, yeah, go back a little bit.
Now what
to
is
the
this we're
first-
looking at? Beautiful shot. Look at
Thi-
that moon. Is that
This
the moon?
is,
Yeah.
I believe so.
Wow.
That is the first meditation that I ever did, and that was back in I think 2017. And so the meditation events we sit in a circle, and the horses we let two horses out, and they kind of walk around, and they will stop and connect with people that they feel
That are just
need
in the circle.
like extra healing, or
Wow.
or that maybe they're afraid of horses, or they need a little bit more healing, or something just happened, or they have someone maybe passed away and
Right,
they're really
grief.
hurting, so they can sense that. And
Wow.
they stand over, and they'll actually stand over and give that person support, like breathe. So can you go back to that for a second, Bobby? The first one? Yeah, that one right there. So so this is the horse Cricket, and she's
Such a
standing
majestic
over.
photo.
Yeah, this woman who's speaking, she actually had a fear of horses, and I helped her because she had a bad accident, and I helped her to get over her fear through coaching sessions, and then she also came to the meditation event, and she was sharing her experience, and she was getting a little teary-eyed, and the horse felt her emotion.
Wow.
And stood, and she had never worked with this horse before.
She got a horsey hug.
Yeah.
Oh, how beautiful.
And the horse is like, oh, it's like almost kissing her, right?
I wish every single person in America could do this kind of thing, because if they even just did it once, I think it would open so many hearts. So now here we
It
have
would.
someone
They need it.
who's
So
pregnant.
Yeah, she now this is okay, so I do regular meditations, which is a group of maybe anywhere from 15 to 25 people.
Okay.
But this is a private group meditation, and there were six attendees, and we can get a little bit more personal at the private groups. The horses can come into the middle.
Wow.
So she's pregnant, and the horse, she actually asked the horse if the horse would kiss her belly. And what you do when you want to talk to a horse and ask them something, or ask them to come over to you, is hold a picture in your mind of what you would like to
visualize
see.
what you want.
Right.
Wow.
So she was just thinking like, oh, I would love for this horse to come and kiss the baby. So the horse came over, and the horse had just taken his nose off of her belly.
Oh, how
and she's like,
cute.
oh my God.
So they really do have a telepathic ability.
Absolutely. They're very telepathic.
That's really,
And
really cool.
Not so much our words, but again, our energy. They read our energy, and that's how they communicate with us. Now this is a meditation and drum circle. There are certain, every meditation has a theme. Like some of them are, like one of them would be like harmony and relationships. Where
Okay.
we have a discussion.
I know you had said something
that.
about like letting go. You have meditations for letting go.
Yeah, letting go. That's a big one, and that was the first one that you had seen with with Kathy and Cricket, the horse standing over her. That was letting go. So we have a little topic discussion. We can share feelings, thoughts. Also, horses, help us to become more present. So I'll just discuss the benefits of how horses can help us through meditation, because being in the ring with the horses is really, really grounding and centering, and it really is kind of like it sets you up for a meditation,
Right.
because just the presence
Now,
of horses is very quiet. And
I have two questions. Do the horses respond to the drumming and the sound?
They do, and if it's too, we try to do a quiet drum. Most people use a frame drum, which is like the beat of a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I have actually Albert Maldonado, who
Yeah,
you know,
my shaman Al. My shaman. You can't have him now. He's
Yeah.
everybody's shaman.
He's great.
I love
know.
Al. He's just pure
He's
love.
hard to get though. He's
He is.
all over the
He's
place.
very busy. I have sent him so many people, and everyone just loves him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's amazing.
If you're local, guys, Al Maldonado, shaman Al. It's the stone. What is it? Oh my gosh,
Sacred
Stone. And lately,
Bohemia.
with this Venus in Pisces, I can't remember anything. Truthfully, Sacred Stone. So go find him. He's in Bohemia.
Yeah. So this meditation is
Look at the
actually
gong.
meditation and sound healing.
Wow.
And you know what? To be honest, I won't. The only thing I won't use again is the gong, because that's the only thing the horses were afraid of. They love the bowls. In fact, this one tried to eat out of one of the bowls.
He's eating out of a
cinnamon.
singing bowl. That's funny.
That's Cinnamon, and this is Pumbaa. And they Cinnamon had passed away, unfortunately. And but I always feel his spirit
So
with me.
sweet.
And
You do.
sometimes actually when I can't sleep at night, I'll imagine a circle of horses around me, and Cinnamon is in the back, Sparky is in the front, and a few other ones. And
Oh, how
just
beautiful.
I just start breathing and imagining those horses just standing there quietly holding space for me, because that's what they do. They hold space for you.
Yeah.
And I just fall asleep.
Wow. You are so privileged to be able to live this life. I have to tell you, it was so beautiful. The other question I was going to ask is, because what was coming into my mind when I was looking at some of those pictures, especially the one with the full moon, and how you say every meditation has a theme. So every new moon and full moon also has a theme depending on where it is in the cosmos. For instance, a letting go theme would tie in really, really well with a Scorpio moon. So I'm wondering, do the animals, the horses, do you find them responding differently to like moon tides or new moons?
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Just like people, when there's a full moon and our energy is really ramped up. And
Yeah.
I feel like the horses are like that too. They start running around the ring. They're much more active.
Really? So you can
Yeah,
tell.
they're really energized. I think so. Yeah.
'Cause
But I'm
I
going to
think that
actually
would
make
be
a point
cool.
to notice that the next full moon.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like if I did meditations like that, I would sync them with the cosmos.
Yeah. You know what?
Because the energy would be really heightened then.
I know that I've purposely done that with the last drum circle, and that went over really well.
Yeah,
and everybody
see?
had a great
Yeah.
time, and there was lots of really good
As
energy.
above, so below.
That's right.
Really
You got
cool.
it.
So now walk us through a coaching session. Like if I called you up and said, Laura, I'm having an issue in my life with something, I don't know, maybe I have some anxiety or I
Okay.
need more self-confidence. How would you utilize a coaching session with me with the horse?
Okay. So the first thing I would do is actually bring you into, before I even bring you into the ring, we'll do a 5 or 10 minute meditation outside the ring.
Okay.
Just to get you grounded
Is the horse
and centered.
there or just this before the horse?
The horse is in the ring. The horse is in the ring waiting. So,
Okay.
and I would probably let you pick your horse.
Oh.
There's one barn that I have 2 to work with, but the one in Syosset, there's like 5 or 6. So I let you choose your horse based on who you're attracted to, because
Okay.
you'll read the energy and you'll be like, oh, I like this one. Or
I'm going to
that
want
one.
all of them.
Well, we could do that. You just have to keep coming back. So we start out with a meditation. So when you get grounded and centered and present, because the more present you can be with the horse, the more you're going to pick up from the session. You're going to be able to connect with
Okay.
their
Because they
heart.
stay in the present all the time. So they want you to be
Yeah.
in their energy.
And they have, by the way, horses have amazing heart energy. Their hearts, I don't know if you know this, but their hearts are actually 10 times larger physically than a human heart.
You know, when you first told me that, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't even fathom that. I mean,
Oh, so you remember that? Okay.
Yeah, that struck me. So when you said that, I'm like, wow, I don't think I'll ever forget it, because it really struck me as just think about, when your heart feels like it's filled with love. Can you imagine what they feel if your heart was 10 times as big as that?
That's why we feel so much better being around the horses. Like when I go to the barn, sometimes once in a while I'll stop by if I'm on the way somewhere and just go visit them, and I'll just put my arms around the horse.
Resets you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I'll feel
Because can you
lighter.
imagine the frequency of love that just emanates from that animal?
Yes.
And they're so big, and it's just like you would feel so protected and loved.
Right.
Truly God's creatures, I think. Definitely.
Yeah, and the electromagnetic field of a horse's heart is 5 to 10 times greater than a human heart as well. So you're feeling that energy, and for people who do energy healing or energy work like Reiki
Well, that's why it struck
they can
me,
feel
because,
it.
I've listened to Greg Braden a lot, and he's, heart math and all the heart rhythm and the heart syncing. And just to think, like just what you're saying with the electromagnetic field, just the
Right.
amount of compassion that you would feel even in their presence. It just,
Oh, yeah.
it must bring the energy really. I cannot wait to do a group meditation, because I think it's really going to be off the hook.
Thank you. I think you'll feel that. You'll definitely.
My sister's coming to do that. She's out there
Awesome.
listening probably. So she's going to come. We're going to do it.
So, all right. So let's get back
Okay,
to
so
the
we
coaching
I pick a
session.
horse.
Coaching.
I get to pick my horse.
Pick a horse, right? And then what I do is I'll take you through the meditation. Then I'll open the gate and I'll ask you to meet and greet your horse. And the whole premise is, however, then I'll take you through the different exercises with them, maybe meeting and greeting them, maybe brushing them, or at first sometimes I'll just have you put your hands on the horse.
Okay.
And just feel their energy, just connect with their energy and let things come up naturally. You'll maybe, a thought or a feeling will come to you as you're doing that. So I'll just say to you, whatever comes up, just if you could just share it with me.
Right.
And I'll ask you questions around what's happening and the process. It unfolds naturally, and everything that happens in a session is very metaphorical. And like I'll have some of the things I may have you do is brush the horse, lead the horse from point A to point B.
Right.
And like and I'll watch just
How you
the way
interact.
the way you lead the horse are you leading the horse? Is the horse leading you?
Right. That's
and-
interesting. Yeah.
And I'll have you maybe halter the horse. So everything you do with the horse, being that you're not used to being around them, that also builds confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And it also helps learn to set boundaries, set stronger boundaries.
I think it must be so personally revealing for someone to go through those steps, because the animal's really opening you. You're so open
yeah.
that things will come to the surface that you don't expect.
That's it. And it's interesting because a lot of people have come, and I work with adults and I work with children as well, and they will come to a session and they'll choose this type of session versus going to a coach or a therapist.
Oh, I
in
could
an
definitely
office,
see that. Yeah.
because it makes them feel so much
Especially
more,
a teenager or
right?
Yeah.
It's non-threatening.
Yeah.
Because there's the horse there, we're outside. I'm not sitting there
And for
staring
people
at
who
them.
have had trauma, this is such a beautiful way to come into that vulnerable spot that needs to be healed without having more trauma.
Yeah, exactly. And the horse, so getting back to the session, so like maybe at the end of a session, I will, so I'll take you through the exercises. At the end, I may ask you to create something in the ring as a representation of what confidence looks like to you, whatever your goal is or what you want to manifest, what it looks like, and then take the horse through it. So it's kind of like a real.
That's really interesting, a real visualization of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
You're moving the
creativity.
energy.
Right.
You're actually like opening and then moving. You're moving the energy, which is really what we do as healers. If I do Reiki on someone or I do a healing session with someone, I'm opening the energy and moving it. But you're using the horse as a tool to do that. And what a beautiful, organic way to make someone feel safe.
Yeah. And you know what? The way we act with horses is the way we act in life. So it's very,
Wow,
it's
that's
very
really
telling whatever
profound.
happens in the ring. So it's,
Wow.
yeah.
Now, when you do this kind of work now and, flash back to when you were younger and you were in the competitive field and you were working with horses, you can kind of see, even though it's juxtaposed, like I can imagine you would feel the way you were connecting then as opposed to the way you connect now.
Oh, it was like night and day, like totally night and day. I didn't even, always loved horses. I always thought they were magnificent and beautiful, and I always loved the feel of just being on them and riding them. And but I never really connected with them in that kind of way, that
They were more of
spiritual
like an
way.
object for you.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, learn how to ride, master the horse, make the horse do what you want him to do. And now it's more of a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I always, even at the end of a session, I thank the horse and I encourage
Gratitude.
my clients to thank the horse for their, because that horse is giving you that gift. That horse doesn't have to do it.
Laura, it's actually like a small summarization of just life's journey, how we really evolve into being these deeper, more conscious beings. And it sounds like your journey has been with these animals to do that.
I really feel that this is what the work I'm meant to do.
You can see it. You can absolutely see it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For many years, I've worked in offices, office administration, and I was just miserable. I just couldn't stand being inside.
Killing your soul.
Oh,
We all
my
know
gosh,
that
my
feeling,
soul was
right?
dead. It was dying. It was a slow death.
Well, thank God for the horses. So.
I know. So I knew that I just followed. I kept praying, and I followed my path, and Spirit led me to this. And it's funny because I'm the type of person that I feel like I need to know something before I do it.
Yeah.
And then.
What's going to happen? How long are we going to
Oh
be
my
there? What
gosh.
colors? What's it going to look like?
So this is a totally creative process. So when I started doing sessions, I'd try to figure out what was going to happen next, because I
Let
was
it flow.
practice sessions, and I learned that it was really good for me to experience that, like just be in the flow.
Yeah.
And there is
What a beautiful way to learn, though. The universe gave
Yeah.
you such a beautiful platform for it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I got to say that, we talk in the soul space a lot about not resisting. And I learned that in so many different ways throughout my life daily, and I'm always grateful for it. And I always say the intention of everything is to heal. We could be in the worst challenge of our lives, and the intention of the universe is to heal something in that challenge. And so I think what you just were saying, even just in working in this chosen career that you have, and finding a way to evolve into the flow of it. Such a huge life lesson for us all. And look at the joy you have from doing that,
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes I'm at the barn and I'm with the horses and the sun is shining and I'm like, this is amazing. This is my job.
I get to be here.
I get to be here. I get to be with these magnificent animals. I get to help people, and I love it.
I have to ask you, do you cry then? Because I have this thing.
The tears
Yes.
definitely come out of the corner of my eyes. And they
I
start
do that too. I have certain days where I'm like, doing a healing session, or I'm doing astrology, or I'm doing a reading for somebody, or I'm just like in a space with like a group of spiritual people. I'm in yoga with my yoga teacher, Jackie, or somebody, and I just start to cry, and people will be like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, it's just so beautiful.
Right.
Life is so amazing. And like, you're like,
know.
you're a freak.
And so many people are unhappy in their jobs, and it's like, I mean, some people come to me with any particular challenge or goal they want to reach, and people have said, I want to change my career. I'm like, come for a horse session. And they're like, well, how can a horse help me?
Right.
And I'm like, well,
Right.
you'll see.
Right. It's funny because like similarly in my earthbound life, like I do life coaching with sales agents, and it's such a mind, body, spirit approach to what I do. It's like you were saying before, you can't just do the corporate part,
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. But I find that now, and this is my question for you, I feel like the energetic frequency of the earth is shifting a little bit, and that people are becoming more open to being healthy in spirit, in their consciousness, and then bringing that to the career, bringing that to other things in their life. I feel like people really are starting to get more so in the mainstream, that extra layer.
Yeah, I see that too.
Yeah.
I do see that. They're especially with what's going on the last couple of years, people realize the importance of being healthy physically, and then, okay, we want to stay centered mentally and spiritually. So they're
getting it. The world is getting it, guys. It might not seem like it in certain parts tonight, But the world is getting it.
They are. They are.
They are
getting
getting it. I find it with the young people coming in my profession. I find that they're all about that. You know, they're going to yoga before they're hitting the work,
Right.
and they're very evolved that way, and it's beautiful to see. It really is.
Yeah.
And non-attachment. You know, that whole, they don't want a lot of possessions and things. So we've got some people on. We've got, hi, Joanne. Trish Adams says hello to you. Sarah Stack says good evening. Joanna Maya. So now, with the coaching sessions, tell us some of your success stories. Like, what kind of things have people accomplished? Because I saw in your bio, you even do things like if someone wants to stop smoking or dieting. Like, I would have never thought about that kind of thing.
Well, okay, yeah, I know it's pretty amazing, right? It's like how does that connect? Well, I coached somebody actually on losing weight, and he came into the ring, and it was I asked him to. We talked about, what he's eating and what he gravitates towards and about food choices,
Yeah.
and he said, well, yeah, I tend to, go for unhealthy foods or the high fat foods.
Hopefully not horse meat.
No, God, please. If that came up, I'd be like, out of here. You're out now.
Just kidding.
So anyway, he goes, I said, so I asked him to build a representation of a positive food choice, a good food choice, and a bad food choice in the ring.
Okay.
So he built this one with that was a good food choice, and everything was like lined up, and it was linear. Like I had hula hoops.
Organized.
I bring props in the ring. It was all organized.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
And then the other food choice was scattered stuff all over the place. It was just like
Chaos.
piled on top of each other, reflecting the chaos that he felt
Right.
when he was, making all these.
So
poor
you
choices.
unlocked the habit. You unlocked it. Yeah.
Right, but the wild thing is that when he actually worked with this horse Cinnamon, and I said, now let's lead Cinnamon to, let's talk about your food choices, and he led the horse to the good food choice, and Cinnamon stood right by. I wish I had this video. Cinnamon stood right by the representation of it and started licking it.
Oh my God.
And I swear,
But it wasn't real food.
no, but it was just kind of like and he was just put his ears forward, like he
That's
liked
funny.
it. And the other one, I said, now take him to the other one, and the other one he just snorted and he turned his head. He didn't want any part of it because it was
Wow.
all chaos. So the horse reflected
up
to
his-
him
yeah.
what was going on.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm kind of scared now to reveal myself to the horses. I don't know what's going to come out.
They know more than you think they know, so you better watch
All
it.
my secrets will come out. So now this is a
Exactly.
family coaching session. What is this, Laura?
Yes, that's okay. So, this family wanted more connection with each other. They wanted everyone
Wow,
to be
that's a
more.
great thing.
Yeah, and because there was not enough harmony in their family, so we went through different activities, and everybody got to participate. So there was more communication between everyone, and as a group, they all had to come up with what they wanted to focus on. What was the most important value for them?
Wow, that's
and that was-
bonding. Yeah.
yeah, and if you notice, what they made is a peace sign. So they
Oh.
wanted peace in their family, and that
I
was
see it now. Yeah.
yeah. So and they all got together and they worked with a little pony Blue, which was great for the kids.
You
That's
know what's
actually-
really strange? That every time you mention the name of a horse, it's the name of a family dog we've had. First it was Sparky. We had a dog named Cinnamon when I was younger, and now you just said Blue, and that was my brother's dog.
No way! I can't believe that.
Yeah, we must be soul sisters from another era.
I think so.
We have past lives together or something, because your dogs are my horses. I don't know, it's some weird thing. But
Definitely.
really strange. So
Wow.
now, one of the other things that really struck me, because I feel like this is such a big thing in the world right now, and we talk about it a lot on Soul Space, you were talking about how the horses teach us to feel versus think.
Yes.
So elaborate on that, because that is so huge.
Okay.
Because we all overthink everything.
Oh, we do, and I'm definitely the queen of overthinking, And when I get with the horses, it's like, that kind of starts to just fall away. But so horses are always in the present moment. Okay, that's one thing about them that really can
Unlike
help
people.
us. Right.
Right.
I mean, where are we? Are we are we thinking about like what we did yesterday
Right.
or what we're going to have for dinner tomorrow? Or
We're still thinking about the kid that punched us in the face at 5 years old on the playground. We never get over anything.
Exactly. We don't.
No.
And the horses, they're amazing. They'll like let's go back to the herd situation, right?
Yeah.
So they'll sense they'll hear something, they'll sense danger, they'll be grazing, they'll look up, they'll look around, they'll determine okay, it's not a threat, and then they'll go back to grazing.
Right.
And they'll
They
forget
can
about
tell
it.
what's going on around them.
Yeah. So emotions pass through them.
They don't hold the grudge because the mountain lion wanted to eat them the day before.
Right. They don't think about. They're not remembering the mountain lion
Wow.
the day before. So
So it's really a lesson in forgiveness too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so people, so they can teach us, the more we're around horses, they help us to become in the present, more in the present moment. And it's in the present that the real healing occurs, right?
Right.
So they've actually, horses are really amazing at helping us release stuck energy.
Right.
So for example, horses can sense like where in our bodies we're holding energy. And there's some more pictures I want to show. There's
Bobby,
one
can you
particular-
put a couple of the last pictures? Here we are.
Okay, we'll get to the one I'm thinking of, but in the meantime, this one is that's Leo in the ring, and this woman.
I didn't have a dog named Leo, so we're safe here.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I'm like, wait, she's got to have a dog named Leo. So she took him through this creation, and he's just checking it out and having a good time in there. So that's a creative expression that she had made. So next.
Oh, what a beautiful horse.
So now we get back to emotions. This is Paul with a horse, Sugar. And I don't know if you can see this, but Sugar has a very...
He's hugging him.
Yeah, Sugar has her eyes closed.
Aw.
And Paul is connecting with Sugar on a real heart. His heart is right up against her
Yeah,
heart.
I see that. Wow.
And there's a real connection there.
Oh, my
And
gosh.
she's like holding space for him.
I would love to feel that.
And they can actually, through their energy, they can move our energy. And if there's something stuck, they can just transmute it.
Wow.
And yeah, and the way I see horses do that is a lot of times they'll lick and chew. They'll shake their head. That's their way of like taking and releasing energy.
Wow.
They'll swish
They
their
have their
tail.
own little habits.
They'll yawn. So it's like taking it and then
Like a
releasing
release.
it.
Yeah.
Because if they don't it then it can actually get stuck in them. But most horses are good at releasing it. But like for example, if I were to do a few sessions back to back, like 3 or 4 sessions with the same horse, which I wouldn't do because of that.
They take on too much energy.
Right, and then if you'd have to really keep moving them around a little bit after the session. If you put them back in the stall, that's like the worst thing you
The
can do.
energy will stagnate probably.
Right.
Yeah.
So they need water, movement.
Right. So now is this Sugar again?
No, that's actually another horse at a different place. I worked at quite a few barns. That is Arizona, and this woman Kathy is we were talking about what she wanted for her future and her life's path and finding her purpose and her life's path. And so we explored that throughout the session, and she created a representation of her journey, her life's journey, and she's taking Arizona through that. So that's what she built.
That's beautiful. I have to say, I know you had said that most of your sessions are about an hour, right?
Yeah.
And I think that
under an hour, yeah.
I have to tell you, I think in a couple of hours with Laura, you're probably going to knock off 30 years of talk therapy. Because this is just so beautiful. This was the photo, my favorite one that got me. Tell us what we're looking at here.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. That's John with Jackie, and he was actually having this really amazing experience where he was feeling a lot of heart energy and a lot of energy in his heart, and he was calling the horse over like telepathically, and she just came right over.
Oops.
And
Kathy is
I was looking at the comments.
no,
and hit
it's
the button.
okay. So
I mean, it's right up against his heart chakra, breathing him in.
Yeah, Jackie is just kind of like just pointing to the area that has the most energy and the and intensity. So
Wow.
horses know that, and
Just
she's
beyond
helping
beautiful.
to
Yeah.
just clear anything that's stuck.
I have to come out and see all this stuff. This is so awesome.
It's really amazing.
I love that you do family coaching and family set therapy sessions like that. I think that would just really be joyful, rather than sitting in a therapist's office and discussing your
yeah.
problems.
And I do couple sessions too. I've done quite a few couple sessions, and they're really, really incredible. We have sometimes them leading them over around an obstacle course, and one's on one side, one's on the other.
Yeah.
So they both have to work with each other to say, hey, who's going faster, who's going slower? Are you going around a turn? One has
Real
to catch
team
up.
building. And you do corporate
Yeah.
things too, you said.
Right, corporate events.
I want to set one
leadership,
up for
team
my
building.
Earthbound company.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, we've got about 5 minutes left in the show. You can try to call in if you'd like.
Oh, time went
But
fast.
tell us where we can find you, and do you have any events planned for the summer yet, Laura? I know you're just in the planning phase now.
You know what? I actually have one group meditation, but it's for a corporation in May.
So you've
But,
got dates open.
Yeah, I've got dates open. I'm going to be setting up my next one for June. I'm not sure when, but sometime in June.
And I can
So-
always tell them on the show as well. Let me know when it is. We'll let our people know.
Yeah, sure. And if you'd like to be on my mailing list, you could send me an email to coaching@optonline.net. So it's coaching@optonline.net. Also,
Your Facebook page is Life Coaching with Horses.
right. So it's Clear Insight Coaching, Life Coaching with Horses. I mean, either way, you'll get to it, whatever you put in. And,
And
also,
for those of you on Long Island, Laura works on 3 different barns, so there's always a place for you to find her locally.
Yep. And my cell, before I forget, is you can text me or call me with any questions, 516-680-6307. So I'm going to definitely be arranging some meditation events and private sessions. I do all year round. So that's during
I
the
know
week
I'm going to
and
be
weekends.
there. And I have to tell you guys, Laura is the kindest person. She actually offered me a session when Sparky passed, and I was just so touched by that. So definitely give her a call, and, book something, because she will book up this summer. And if you have any kind of issue in your life, any kind of challenge, here in the Soul Space, we're all about living to your full potential and doing it with positivity. And what better way than working with a few horses than Laura? So thank you so much for being in the Soul Space with me tonight.
Thank you, Georgia.
This was a great show.
It was so much fun.
The time went by so fast.
I can't believe it.
See?
I said to myself,
Soul Space has a
what are we
magic
gonna
to
talk about
it.
for an hour.
You can find me here on Strong Island Television every Monday at 7 p.m. We also have the show repeated on Optimum Channel 115. They're usually a week behind, but it is our show. And if you need to have a replay, you can go on Zencuda on Facebook or YouTube, or just go on Strong Island on YouTube, and you'll see our whole lineup of shows. We've got some really great stuff going on. So now at 8 o'clock is Teresa with Tea Time. So I'm going to hop on over, and thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.